Today on AUIB we are delighted to welcome one of our distinguished partners from Vanderbilt University, a long-standing collaborator with the College of Education and Human Development at AUIB. This partnership continues to elevate the quality of teacher preparation, career development, and also experiential learning for our students, aligning perfectly with AUIB's mission and vision. Our guest today is D.Kreisten Tompkins, a senior lecturer in the Department of Human and Organizational Development at Vanderbilt University. We are excited, of course, to learn more about her insights, her work with students, and her vision about the collaboration between AUIB and Vanderbilt University. Welcome, Dr. Kreisten.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Well, today we will be talking mostly about the partnership between Vanderbilt and also AUIB. But first, of course, our listeners maybe would like to know more about you. So can you please just give us a brief introduction about yourself and your work at Vanderbilt University?
Sure. Thank you so much. So my background is I got my undergraduate degree in psychology and then went on to get my master's in human developmental counseling, and found my way into Vanderbilt because of that very program. So I got my master's there almost 25 years ago, and I left for 1 year but came back, and I've been partnering with the undergraduate program at Vanderbilt called Human and Organizational Development for the past 23 years. And during that period of time, I've evolved into this current role where I work with the undergraduate students that are juniors and seniors that are designing a capstone experience. So they get to take what they've learned in their earlier freshman and sophomore classes and apply it to an internship or a research capstone immersion experience. So I work very closely with about 300 students every semester to help them to really think creatively about how they want to do that for their capstone experience. So it's very rewarding. And
yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's very interesting, the field that you have entered and all the degrees that you have. So what drew you personally maybe to the human-centered learning? What do you like about it most?
Yeah, so I like to think about this when I'm reflecting on how I got to where I am today. I really do think it is all about just embracing ambiguity and talking to humans. Those are two things that I really encourage my students to do, and I feel like I try to put those things into practice myself. So when I was in my master's program starting out at Vanderbilt, I had no idea what this HOD program was about, but I just really built this strong community, found mentors, and learned what a really unique program it is, where students actually get to go out and apply their coursework to an internship setting, to have mentors to give them feedback and then help them think, okay, is this really what I want to do with my life? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But that component I think is so rewarding. So full circle, that is I think what is the most powerful thing about what I get to do. And I think it really influenced my life because I had no idea about HOD whenever I started my master's program. But because I did a graduate assistantship, kind of like an opportunity to partner with faculty members about 10 hours a week, I discovered this career. I discovered what it would be like to teach in a program. And so I experimented. I did this little internship. I built this community. And then when an opportunity came available, my mentor reached out to me to say, hey, this job is available. You should apply for this faculty position at Vanderbilt. That would have never happened had I not just embraced the unknown and been curious and asked lots of questions. So I think that's what's so important about just really leaning into your curiosity, finding people that you are interested in, finding programs that you're interested in, internships, and just going for it. So there's no linear path, right? You have to just explore and be open.
Yes, and I think mixing all of these experiences and degrees into your job at Vanderbilt can really help the students now, maybe the new generation, to figure out all the points that you have learned throughout your life, and you can apply now with this partnership.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, now we will jump into the collaboration or partnership between Vanderbilt and AUIB. Why do you think that this partnership is really important and meaningful?
Yes. Well, again, I think it all gets back to just the power of building a community. That's creativity never happens in isolation. You always have to just lean into others and hear their stories. And that's what's been so impactful for me. I've learned as much from primarily the staff members at AUIB that I've been working with They feel like we've taught them, but I have learned so much from them, and hearing what are the complications with their current role, or what are the struggles, or what are they excited about, what are they passionate about, and I hear myself in their stories, and that's what's so amazing, is that it doesn't matter where you are in the world. We all experience the same life in so many different ways. So just having a space to come together on a monthly basis and talk about these things, and then also build a toolkit that will help you, okay, hey, I need to have a difficult conversation with someone within my office. How do I go about doing that? And we get to practice that together. So just really, learning from each other is what's, I think, the most important thing from the programs that we're doing here at AUIB.
Yeah, well, learning from each other, of course, it's a key point. And then since you have communicated with a lot of people here inside AUIB, I'm sure that you have found some strength points maybe in AUIB students or in AUIB community in general that maybe matches the philosophy, educational philosophy in Vanderbilt. So have you noticed that?
Well, I just think everybody is so interested in becoming better. Like they don't, just when you have one degree or okay, I'm stopping. No, that's not their philosophy. That's not their mindset. We talk a lot about growth mindset, actually, in one of the partnerships that I've been working with in the staff program. And it's not that, hey, I can't do that, but it's I can't do that yet. And so just really having that positive attitude, and that everyone's so kind and just generous, and just I can't say enough about how rewarding it's been.
Yeah. Well, there are, of course, some goals to this partnership. All of us are learning from each other, but the main goal has to be going through the way from Vanderbilt to AUIB. So what do you think that you guys from Vanderbilt University aspire to change inside AUIB, or maybe in education inside Iraq in general?
Yeah, great question. So I think what we're really trying to bring to this campus and to just the people that we've been working with is just more of the American style philosophy of teaching, and what does that look like in the classroom? What does that look like as you interact with your colleagues? Again, does that mean it's the perfect way? No, but we're here to give you some, tools that we practice that we found successful. So kind of going back to this idea of the growth mindset, how do you give and receive feedback? How do you take that in and make sure that, you're not defensive about it, but you're always thinking creatively about how do you want to become better? What are the things that you want to work on? And then I think having them to take that to the people that they work with and to the next level, so it's this replication idea of we're planting the seeds, but then they're really going to spread it. They're going to grow it out all over across the community.
Yes, but I believe there are a lot of challenges that you guys went through, or maybe that you've witnessed that our students inside AUIB, or maybe the education inside Iraq is challenging. So what do you think are the most critical challenges that they are facing today?
Well, we can't talk about, the elephant in the room, AI, and, it's the constant challenge of getting students to come up with their own ideas and to use AI tools in a productive way, and a way that enhances their work and their productivity. So again, that's just another great example of common challenges that we have. So do you. So let's come together and think, what do we do that works? What do you all do that works? So I think that's the most important conversation that we're definitely having in the level of the faculty partnership that we have here with our programs.
Yes, especially now the kids are heavily relying on AI, since you brought that up, and the teachers are trying to give them an idea that it's not all about AI, and I think it's difficult because now our generation is relying on AI. How can we teach the other generation not to rely on that?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it it comes back to us as educators and designers of our curriculum. How do we find different ways of getting you to basically evaluate the skill sets that we were trying to accomplish in our learning objectives in the classroom. So we as educators have to sit back and redesign our assignments, and make sure that, you're not going to be tempted in a way that just, okay, let me just plug this into, ChatGPT and plug it out. But we want to really see you and your story. So how do we do that? And that's another layer of this faculty program that we're working with here at AUIB, is that very topic, is getting creative with redesigning our assignments. So that's really exciting.
Yes, I think, the tools that we use today in education is really critical. But I have been hearing a lot about design thinking and storytelling. We're trying to teach our future educators this tool. But in your personal opinion and perspective and your work on maybe storytelling and design thinking, why do you think this is important, and how it shapes our next future educators?
That's a great question. So in my work with the undergraduate students in human organizational development, our real philosophy is grounded in this idea of you need to put into practice what you have learned. So what does that look like in our program? That is through internships or working in research labs. And so every student that does that, they use this creative approach to problem solving called human-centered design. And I think it's an ideal tool because it really transcends across all industries. No matter if you're working in marketing, advertising, finance, healthcare, you as a person are going in and you're working through several phases of meeting your user, and in a way that is empathetic. So empathy, we ask our students to really have these informal conversations with everybody, engage, again, going back to what we talked about at the beginning, talk to humans, and understand what their needs are. Don't automatically assume that you know everything. Like, right, okay, you're very smart, you go to AUIB, you go to Vanderbilt, but that doesn't mean you know everything. You don't know the full context. So this idea of empathizing and getting people's stories, right? And then figuring out what is an area of need that I can assist with. What are the pain points here in this organization? So we kind of call that the define stage. And then you start to ideate. So you brainstorm with all your colleagues. Okay, what's been tried? Because I don't want to make any assumptions that here's a prototype idea if you've already tried it and it failed. And then our students will build projects or prototypes, like we call, to test some ideas, come up with a plan moving forward, and then they can consistently get feedback from, again, we talked about mentors, supervisors. So I think it's a brilliant framework. It again, it helps any industry. It's a great, again, way for students to just assume that they know nothing going in, just build those relationships, use this idea of empathy, define, ideate, prototype, iterate, and it's a great framework for problem solving and gathering the stories that you need to help design projects that will be effective.
Yeah, so I think both parties are learning here. The teacher and also the learner. Both are hand in hand, and they're going to create something beautiful. Well, these tools that we're trying to enhance and we're trying to teach them about mentorship and leadership, there's probably a lot of mistakes have been going in the education field and maybe our new generation or the older generation. So do you think that we have like certain mistakes that we do in education that you have witnessed maybe through your journey inside AUIB or at Vanderbilt University that we're trying to make it better?
Oh, sure. Like, that's how we learn best, right? When we mess up.
Sure.
So, it's not, I think teaching, it's not a one size fits all. So you have to very much go back to this idea of using human-centered design in the classroom. You have to know what your students need. Who are they? And you have to do that every time a new semester begins or every time you have a new cohort. Is it a group of 12? Is it a group of 50? Is it a lecture hall? Are we at small group tables? I mean, your brain constantly has to be this idea of iterating and knowing that you have to test ideas. And then the most important thing I think that we all do as educators is we try to get feedback from our students. We're not perfect. So let's, we like this idea of exit tickets, right? And not waiting until the end of the semester to get course evaluations when we're like, oh, well, that didn't go so well. But at the end of every class, like, I really like this little framework. I wish, what if? So getting feedback from students, like, what did you really like about how class went today? And what are some ideas that you bring to the table? Because I mean, I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. And then next class, I wish, what would you want to see more of? So I think that that's really important. Like, back to your point, we're not perfect. We're constantly changing. We're trying to, be open to new ideas. And that's what's so amazing about working in education.
Yeah, that's really inspiring. And also, I think it's a big responsibility to hold all of this and everything you have mentioned. It's such, a lot of ideas and a lot of things that the teacher has to take into consideration once they enter the classroom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You have to you can't go in and with your eyes closed and the traditional model of just standing up and lecturing, or at least I don't like to do that. And I feel like that a lot of the faculty that we've been working with at AUIB, they don't want to do that either. They really want to make a difference in students' lives. So doing partnerships like this really does give you an opportunity to step back and say, okay, what are some other ways that I could be thinking about how to work with my students? Because at the end of the day, that's what we all want. We want our students to be successful.
Yeah, definitely. So with this partnership and with all of this applied, what do you aspire in the future that that this partnership can change in our AUIB community, especially in education?
I feel like I already see so much excitement. So the reason that we're here this week is we had a convening to bring together faculty, staff, and administrators to just really talk about the key takeaways. And just that's the whole goal, right? We had an audience. We brought together other partners from AUIB that had no idea what this program looked like or did it exist, but that's the power. They're spreading the word forward. So what did they take away? We had a showcase, a gallery walk from particularly the staff who talked about what's been the most impactful experience from this fellowship that they've been a part of. Who do they want to thank? Who are the people that have made the most difference in their partnership? And so just bringing people together to hear those stories, I think that's really what we want, because then they're going to be inspired to hopefully go on and maybe partner with us with the fellowship in the future, or take it and run with it in their own ways.
That's beautiful. Yeah, learning from inspiration instead of just lecturing and giving them steps what to do. Well, the last thing that I would like to mention is a message from you that you would like to share with AUIB students who are preparing to enter the world of work.
Yeah. Well, I think coming back full circle, if I could leave you with anything, is this idea of embracing ambiguity. Like, just do it. If you are curious, if you have like a little inkling of thought, like, oh, I think I might, just do it. Don't be afraid to fail. And also talk to humans. Build your mentors. That's the best thing. Every opportunity that I've ever had, I'm sitting here today because I'm partnering with Dr. Cravens, one of my colleagues. She pulled me into this program. She's an inspiration. So it's a good example of how I would have never come to Iraq had I not had my colleague, Dr. Cravens. So think about those people. I love this idea of building your ideation team. So who are the people in your life that you trust to go and say, oh, I'm thinking about this, get their feedback. So embrace the ambiguity, talk to humans, build your ideation team, and everything else will fall into place.
Yeah, so I can see that you mentioned a lot talking to humans. So I think this is maybe can be the title of our episode today.
There we go. I like it.
Yeah, just
talk to humans.
humans.
Everything else will come together.
Exactly, 100%. Thank you, D.Kresting, for being here today, and thank you for sharing all of these insights. We really hope that this partnership can grow bigger and bigger.
No, I owe you all the thanks. You all are an amazing space, community, and I'm just so delighted that I've had a chance to meet everyone.
Thank you so much. Well, dear listeners, we have been here with you, and today we were talking about the partnership between AUIB and Vanderbilt University, but of course we will be with you in soon episodes right here on AUIB FM 101.5.